Billboard News, and I want to welcome you guys to White Claw Sessions, powered by Billboard. Now, we have a very special guest that we're going to invite to you tonight. You guys are very familiar with his music, but I'll just let him come out and say hi himself. Give it up for Ferg!
I did not know all of this was up here. I just thought it was like that little area right there. How y'all doing?
He's been how y'all doing?
How y'all doing? There we go. I need y'all to hype me up. I'm about to go and turn up on that stage. I need some energy.
See, y'all are very special people. Y'all get to hype this man up before the show.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. Well,
this is a first for me, by the way. So
a first.
This is like an interview before the show.
Oh.
Like, I'm usually like in a green room meditating, trying to remember my words. I got new songs I'm performing, so I'm like locking in, but I'm sitting here with y'all before the show, so that's beautiful too.
Hey man, yeah. Well, we'll make it chill. You're talking about those new songs you have to perform tonight. So first, I gotta say congratulations on the new project. Daryl, man, how's it been?
Thank you, it's great. It's finally out. I was quiet for about 4 years, and like for an artist, you know, not having art out is like not talking to the world, so I'm finally back out. I don't want to be outside if I don't have any art out. Like, people will see me, like, going to the grocery store, yo, Ferg, where's the music? You're not making music anymore? And I'm like, only if you knew. I'm trying to get this last song cleared. You know, so now it's finally cleared and it's finally out, and I could come outside now and I could come up for air, so I'm excited about that.
That's nice. And I mean, this project was a lot more personal, I feel like, for you than a lot of your previous work. So how was it to like take that approach and kind of go more personal?
I wanted to align myself more with myself. And I did that through finding purpose, figuring out what my why was. I wanted to figure out why wasn't I attracting the things that I wanted to come to me, and I had to do some soul searching and figure out, like, hold up, like the things you're saying is not adding up to how you're walking. So it's just like I had to talk the way I walked, and finally, like, I feel like I wouldn't say the true me, because all of it is a true me, but like the evolved me has went into this project to where now I feel like, all right, now let's party and have fun with this evolved crowd or this evolved tribe. Because we all grown, like, you know, if you was a fan of mine's 10 years ago, you've grown. Like, some of y'all got kids, some people got married, and it's a different conversation now. Now life is really happening. I wanted to really be a part of that conversation and allow people to feel like they're a part of my growth as well.
Okay, growth.
Yeah.
Now I have to say, like, most of the time when I'm looking at guys in hip hop, I feel like it's easier probably to communicate through song than it is through like social media or even interviews like this. Do you feel like it's easier to go in the studio and kind of put those deeper thoughts and personal growth on a record than it is to talk about it?
No, it's not easier because you gotta make that shit rhyme. Like, I can talk to y'all regular like this, but then I'll be like, all right, how am I gonna articulate this and make it rhyme and make it go together like a puzzle and then put it on top of a beat? Like,
no, that don't sound easy, man.
Yeah, it's not easy at all.
Well, take me to the recording sessions for Harold and tell me about Daryl, I'm sorry. Take me to the recording
Harold
sessions.
Fried Chicken.
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about
You think
fried
about some
chicken
Harold
right
Fried Chicken?
I should have went before here. Now, tell me about like the recording sessions and how it was to like any memorable moments you had like making the project.
Wow, so many. Like one of the most memorable, I mean, there's so many, but like me, like going to London and recording out there for 3 weeks, and then going to Capri because I was like, I had a cold, I was sick. Capri was super hot at the time. It was like 90 degrees out there, and it was only an hour away from London. I went out there for a week and then came back to London because my friend, he found an orchestra for me to add to my album. He was like, yo, bro, his name is Silva. He's an artist in London. Shout out to him.
Nice.
Shout out to El Mean. I went out there to record with them. She wanted to be a part of my interview so bad. Yeah, so we went to London, and then when I left, Silva found an orchestra. Sally, shout out to Sally. She did all of the James Bond scoring in the movie for all of the movies. And she basically weaved a 10-piece orchestra throughout my whole album. So I was able to do that in London. So that's a memorable time. Also, like linking up with Mary J. Blige, who's like a super goat. That was dope, like just chopping it up. She loved like basically all of my songs. Like the songs that I had, probably was like, I probably had like 6 songs I played her. She took like 4 out of the 6 and was like, I'm doing all 4. She wound up giving me 2. But I mean, I got 2 Mary J. Blige featured records, which is amazing.
I mean, you know I was gonna talk to you about that, man.
Yeah.
Working with Mary J. Blige, man, that's
Sick.
crazy. How do you
Straight
even?
sickening.
How does that even become a thing? How do you set that up? Like you texting Mary, you reaching out to her team. How do you get her a legend on the record?
So my friend Carver, shout out to him. He's the one who set it up. He used to work with her. Used to do like a lot of day-to-day stuff with her and for her, ran businesses and stuff with her. So he was able to connect me with her. And she's familiar with my music. Of course, we Uptown babies. And it was just all love. Like she knows a lot about me as well as I know a lot about her. And you could just tell when somebody's from the same tribe as you. Like, I'm a Uptown baby, so she knows this. She knows she must embrace the baby, and like bring me in and give me that verse and them hooks. So, and also having my mom on a song with Mary was amazing. Like, with a track from Mario Winans playing keys on Chosen, that was super dope. We was listening to a lot of gospel, Clark Sisters, and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know, and they're finding out with this album. I'm super musical and I'm a super music geek, and that's the side that I really wanted to show. Like, it was like, and that was a part of my growth as well. It's like not talking about how much of a geek I am when it comes to music. Like before, it was all about the turn up and everything because I knew that's what would get the people. But a part of like this era of DAROLD is just like growing and showing people how much I'm into the music. I don't have gimmicks. I don't troll on the internet. I don't do too much of that. All I have is music and what I love about the art to talk about.
Man, and that's a beautiful thing. I can't even imagine to have a black mama and be like, I got Mary J. Blige for you, mama.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
And then also like Future, we had like a super long, good conversation before I did the music. He was just like, man, don't ever disappear that long. He was like, come on, man, you from Harlem, da-da-da-da-da. But you know, for me, I understand where he was coming from because he's coming from a place where he's like, man, we love your shit. But at the same time, I had to step away from the game so I could get a bigger view on what was going on. And yeah, I feel like my stepping away was like to like build a bigger and stronger foundation so the next 12 to 20 to 50 years could be super strong. So yeah, I had to break the building down and rebuild.
And then you not only had Future on the track, you had Mike Will Made It help in obviously producing. So tell me about Allure and why they were important to be a part of the project.
Mike Will is a really good friend of mine, and we collaborated on a song that never came out, but this one was like, it was like the right time. We got the same temperament, same belief system. Like, this is my brother. Like, some people I hang out with and the world don't even know I be really cool with them. Like, Joey Badass is like one of them, like my really good friend. Like, our moms speak to each other. But the world wouldn't know that. Like, Mike Will is one of those guys. Like, I go check him at ATL and he's my family. But we finally got it right with the art. We got aligned and, you know, he got a team, a new team. Mike took a hiatus for a minute because he lost his computer, lost all of his beats, and he kind of was like down and out. But he got a new team called the Air Drummers, and they motivated him to start creating again. So by the time I came around, he was like, yo, I got this new kid named True. He go crazy. I'm not in ATL right now, but go see him. So I went to go see True. The first beat he played was a Law, and it went crazy. And Mike Will, he did the programming and the drums and everything like that, the mixing with Jason Joshua with They Thought I Was Dead, and also Lex Luger did the beginning of that part with the horns. I heard the horns on Lex Luger's Instagram on live, and I hit him in the DM like, yo, send me the horns. That's all I needed was the horns. I told Mike, don't even touch the horns. Leave the horns.
You told him that he had to back up off the horns?
Oh, yeah. Because I brought an idea to him. I'm like, yo, I got the rap. I'm going to do like a UK flow on here, just on the horns. And then I want you to do like some drums leading up to the switch. And then True came in with the second half of They Thought I Was Dead, and it was history.
Nice, man. I mean, you working with a lot of different people on this project, from old school to also new school. You had Coco Jones. I love Coco
Yeah,
so
Coco
much.
Jones. Shout out to Coco.
Yeah, so why was she? How did that come about, and why did you want to get her on the project?
Well, I bumped into Coco at a session, and I was just like, man, who's like one of those new artists that's doing the R&B thing? Like, you know, we don't have too many of those. And Tiana told me that she retired. I was gonna get Tiana to do it and make it like a super Harlem thing. But Coco was the one that popped up in my head. I just bumped into her, and we kept bumping to each other because it was Grammy week, and we finally got a session and then locked it in because originally I went to get 112 on it, but Slim
That would've been nice,
Slim
though.
sent his vocals back without the rest of the guys, and I'm like, where the rest of the guys at? I'm like, I could have swore it was like some deeper tones and he didn't want to tell me, but I heard later that they broke up as a group and that they was no longer making music together. So I was like, damn, that sucks. It just wasn't the same. So I wound up getting Coco to do that part.
Man, I like what you said about like Grammy Week and like how you just kept running into her. Do you feel like that happens a lot in music? Like collaborations come from kind of just like being out and about, meeting people at events and stuff like that?
For sure. I mean, you just gotta expose yourself just so you could we're sponges, all of us. So like whatever we go around, we take a little bit of, like, y'all gonna walk away and go home with a little bit of what I said today. And that's what's amazing about human interaction. We'll go out and like, you never know that a color green they might have on a sweater might inspire you some type of way. So it's not even just like, it's just going out, period. And then there's sometimes where you gotta be secluded so you can figure out what you're trying to say and you don't really put yourself in groupthink, or you can hear your own voice. So it's like sometimes it's good for you to be secluded. But at that time, Grammy Week, that's the best time to get your features because everybody's outside.
Everybody outside. Now we got to talk about being outside. You mentioned Harlem a lot, obviously. Tell me about the day you had off with Kendrick Lamar, getting to show him around Harlem. That's crazy. So tell me about that day.
Well, first of all, shout out to Kendrick. That's one of my favorite rappers. I had a pleasure of going on tour with him, Drake, and the whole ASAP mob. That was our first major tour.
Wow.
So I would watch Kendrick perform every night. I would watch Drake perform every night. I'll come out for my one song with Rocky, and then we'll come out and do pesos, and it was lit. But that helped build and shaped and molded me to the person I am today. You know, even us being on tour with Schoolboy Q and the whole TDE and all of that, like we always was hanging out. So I watched the come up, but it just took me back to like those days of being on tour together, waking up, we all getting breakfast at the table, seeing Top Dog with his red hat on. I'm like, yo, it's 8 in the morning, you got the red hat on. And I'm like, but I'm like, man, it just brought me back and it made me feel like a kid again. It brought me back to all of those memories. I went to one of his shows in Brooklyn and I'm like, we was in a green room chilling and I'm like, yo, you got a day off tomorrow, what you doing, what you trying to do? Cause you in New York. He was like, I don't know. I said, what you trying to go to Harlem? And he lifted his head up, he was like, fuck it, let's do it. So boom, Dave called me, his manager, and he's like, yo, he's really trying to come to Harlem. So I put like a little itinerary together. Like we went to go get food. We went to go see Dapper Dan. It was his birthday. And like I just showed him Harlem. We walked up and down 125th. And what was beautiful about that was all the kids was in school. So he really got a chance to like really walk through, see Apollo, like without really like any interruption. It was a few people that seen us, but it was like, yo, this is perfect. Cause he would never be able to do this again the way we did it.
That's so dope. But you got to tell me, what was the food spot? Where'd you take him to eat?
Oh, we went to Melba's.
Okay.
We got some fried chicken, some salmon, all of the good stuff, lemonade. He had to get the Harlem experience, so it was dope.
I love it. And then talk to me about, you were saying it like throwback and how like that took you back to a time period in your life. So what do you feel like has changed the most since like, you know, the mob days and in 2012 and work and all that stuff? What's different about you now the most?
What's different about me or different about the times?
Different about you.
What's different about me, I think that, well, one, I'm older. And also, it's starting to reflect in my art and my music. I'm being more open about who I am as an artist, who I am as a person, allowing more people in. Also, the times changed a little bit because now it's like with all of the social media, a lot of people they share more. Like it's all about sharing. It's all about connecting. So like where most people are not even like in office buildings no more and they doing Zoom calls, we're connecting on with technology. So like I have to do the same thing. Like I can't not everybody's not available to link up the way we once used to link up. It's like, I'm moving around. Let's do this Zoom call real quick. So I'm following what's going on and I'm trying to best connect the way I can with the devices we have, but at the same time, I'm also creating like activations and hubs. Like I created this travel party called the Brown Lounge where it like plays jazz, music that we love like Zayn, Janae, Groove Theory, Mary J. Blige, all of the stuff we grew up loving. Because I feel like for the millennials, we never really had anybody tend to us and give us the energy. So I want to do that for us.
That's amazing. And you've talked a lot about people that have inspired you. We lost one of the greatest hype men of all time recently, obviously Fat Man Scoop. Yeah. You guys got to be close. So what can you tell me about what you learned from him or any great memories you have?
Well, one thing I learned from Fat Man Scoop is you're going to be grinding forever because last time I seen him, he was in a wheelchair in Germany.
What?
Coming from a show. So nothing did not stop that man from going to get a bag. Shout out to Fat Man Scoop.
Man, I like that. Everybody needs to remember that tonight. Always chase that bag like
exactly.
Fat Man Scoop.
He was by himself, and this is multiple times I seen him overseas get into that bag.
And then what do you want your legacy to be? What do you feel like is your legacy, or even the legacy of A$AP Mob?
I mean, I don't want my legacy to be anything. Like at the end of the day, I seen Mike Tyson said something like, "We just die." And it's true. It's like it's not about like what you do. Like it don't matter what. Like it just matters now. Like what I can see. Like I don't know what happens when we die. Kobe left an energy behind. That's amazing. My dad left an energy behind. That's a mentality. That's amazing. If I can do anything, then it's like to inspire like the next generation or somebody to just want to do better for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And do better for humanity. Like, figure out your purpose, figure out your why. Like, why are we here? Why are we doing what we do? Help your brothers and your sisters.
Yeah, figure out your why. I like that.
Yeah.
And then, obviously we're talking a lot about music, but you are involved in a lot of stuff. Even fashion. So can you tell me some fashion tips you're on lately? Like, what should we be looking for?
Ferg Apparel. This is my brand. It's actually my dad's brand, Ferg Apparel. He started it in 1994. And he passed away 3 days before my 17th birthday. This is the first time that I'm relaunching his brand and bringing back like clothes. Before I used the logo like on stage and like merchandise and stuff like that, but I'm bringing like back archive pieces and things he worked on. Like, so you're gonna see like a lot of history and storytelling throughout the clothes in the next few years, so stay tuned.
Yeah, man, that's dope. And then, of course, you worked on TV and documentaries as well.
Yeah.
So tell me how it is to work on those projects outside of music.
So I just produced a short film for Renelle Madrano. She's an awesome photographer. She just shot Kendrick's last album cover. She shot 3 of my album covers, and we also dated back in the days. But
yeah, he's like, back in the day.
Back in the day.
There was a bit of a smile with that.
Anymore. Yeah, but besides that, she's just an amazing artist. And I produced a film for her that we're figuring out what we're gonna do with it. It's gonna be to y'all soon. And I did a documentary for Snapple. It's called The Corner Story. I did that, I think it was a little bit before COVID. And it was basically about like all of the store owners. When they got into COVID, when COVID happened, it was like how they was helping the communities and everything like that. So it was corner stories about bodegas helping the community. And then I also did, what is another one I did? Oh yeah, I did Liberia, Where Stars Are Born, because I went to Liberia to put uniforms on kids in Africa. And we did a whole thing about that with Tidal.
Ferg, Multihyphenate over here. And let's bring it back to Daryl. Even you did art for that. Like you painted. So tell me how you started painting and when did you say, I'm going to paint my album cover?
Yeah, so This is the most I've ever talked about myself, but yeah.
That's what interviews are for, man. You know.
It's crazy. But yeah, I painted all of my cover art, like my album cover. I painted my single covers, and I was just like, man, when am I gonna start showing these other sides of me, like the other mediums? And you know, calling my album DAROLD is obviously my government name. So, and being vulnerable, like, and that's part of being vulnerable, is showing these other sides that I may have not been prone to show. And showing my process and showing everything, showing sides of Ferg that you never seen, which is DAROLD. And that's what I decided to do. I went to art school. I went to art and design high school. I majored in fashion and fine arts. So I've always been into art. My father was an artist as well. We're trained artists. Like I studied, we did stipple, crosshatch. We did architecture designs. I took a sewing class. So I did silk screen, and I learned that from my dad. I still own the machines and everything. So I knew how to make merchandise. I was the first ASAP Mob member with a merchandise item on that Drake tour, because I would send money to my girl at the time, yo, get these shirts printed and send them back. So I had the first shirt that everybody had to buy.
Grinding, chasing the bag.
Exactly. So yeah, that's just who I am. I'm just an artist that use different mediums to express myself. And like I said, that's part of the alignment, right? It's like people looking at me one way, they may be looking at me as just a rapper, but it's like deep inside I know that's probably only like 40% of me.
And I know you have a lot of fans in here that probably feel like they know all the tracks, but I want to ask you a question. If you had to look back at your discography, whether it's ASAP Mob or just Ferg, what do you feel like is slept on? What's a song you feel like should have gotten more love?
Wow, I feel like a lot of songs should be like in the forefront. I would just say listen back to the albums, listen to all the B-sides. Don't even listen to like the records that the world know. Like that's too easy. You can't figure out the man by just listening to Plain Jane or Work or New Level or whatever, Shaba. Listen to all the other things now that we have the ears and the eyes to listen. And it's like, you'll really figure out who I am and who I've been.
Okay. And then lastly, talking about chasing that bag, what's 2025 looking at like for you? Now that Daryl's out, we going on tour. What are we gonna see from you?
You're gonna see a lot of different side endeavors, dealing with culinary arts, dealing with more art, more just the moves. The moves.
He's making moves.
Yo. Mike was trying to go out on me.
Well, we want to thank you so much for hanging out at White Claw Sessions, powered by Billboard. So thank you, Ferg.
Appreciate
Y'all
you.
give it up one more time for Ferg, a.k.a. DAROLD, not to be confused with Harold's Chicken. Let's get a photo, bro.